Hi guys. So overthinking and worry, how to stop doing that. It's very, very easy when you have a chronic illness to start overthinking it and to worrying about it. All those little niggles in your head you get, is this really what it is? Is it something more serious? Why have I got this new symptom? Is something else going on? Has my doctor missed something? Etc, etc, etc. I'm sure there's loads of thoughts that you have had in your chronic fatigue progress. So how do we manage this overthinking? Well, the first thing to do is to recognize that you're doing it. So developing self-awareness is a really, really good thing. Once you recognize what you're doing, once you recognize your thoughts, that your thoughts are sort of doing things, then you're almost halfway there to actually doing something about it. So that is the very first step. Recognize that you are overthinking, or you're worrying. Your thoughts are going on this sort of hamster wheel. So once you've recognized that you're doing that, then the second thing to do, to start with, is distract yourself for a while. So do something else. Do something that your brain can sort of latch onto. So listen to a story. Sometimes at night, because that's often the worst time for overthinking, is when we're trying to get to sleep. I find it really, really useful to listen to stories on YouTube. There are lots of sleep stories, people narrating stories to help you sleep. It's incredibly useful because it gets your brain off anything that's going over in your mind. So distract yourself, or watch something uplifting on television, or read a book, or whatever you can do to distract yourself. And the third thing I would suggest is also things like breathing and meditation. So meditation, of course, is really, really useful, and I'm always recommending this, that you start a regular practice of meditation. If meditation doesn't suit you, then at least a regular practice of deep relaxation, breathing exercises. Do try meditation. I'll talk about meditation another time, but it's really helped me with chronic fatigue and all that worrying thoughts. And then when your brain has sort of stopped being on that hamster wheel for a time, then maybe you could sort of look back and start looking at what's going on with these thoughts, and have a look at them and see where you are getting these very reactionary negative thoughts, the sort of knee-jerk reaction thoughts, your go-to thoughts, negative thoughts. What are the thoughts that tend to come up time and time again? And maybe write these down and have a look at where they come from, and try to recognize that these thoughts are not actually real. They're not, they are just thoughts. And if your doctor has said there's nothing else wrong with you, and chronic fatigue syndrome has all kinds of different symptoms. So don't worry if you've been told there is nothing else seriously wrong with you. Then trust in that. And of course, obviously, if you develop a new symptom that looks a bit weird, then obviously you need to check that out. But on the whole, just check your thoughts. Where are they coming from? What are the recurring thoughts you have over and over again? And see if you can work out why you have those thoughts, where they come from, and tell yourself, these are not real. And then when you've sort of written those down and had a look at those, sometimes that can help to stop those really running you. And stop that sort of, as I say, hamster wheel sort of effect where it's going round and round in your head. And also, once you've had a look at that, you can start to think about the positive things. Where have you improved your symptoms? Acknowledge yourself for taking care of yourself. Acknowledge what you've done, to help your chronic fatigue, where you have put in place some pacing, where you started to really look after yourself, and, perhaps where your symptoms have improved, and recognize yourself for doing that. And then, of course, the other main thing is to remember to stay present in your life as much as you can remember to. I know it's difficult to do it all the time, but stay present as much as possible. Try not to linger in the past or worry about the future, because none of those things are happening right now. As Eckhart Tolle says, we only ever have the present moment. So try to stay present all the time. It helps to do, it helps to focus on the breath sometimes. When you feel yourself worrying, come back to the breath to stay present, or go out in nature and just look at a tree, or stroke a cat. Just stay present in those lovely moments, in those lovely sort of natural environments and moments, and stay present all the time. And if you find any of this difficult, and you find it really difficult to stop your mind from overthinking and over worrying, even though you've tried all these things, then it can be helpful to ask for further help, maybe from a professional psychotherapist who can help you go through why you're doing that, and help you to change that behaviour. Because if you can stop overthinking, if you can stop that worry, that is going to do a hell of a lot to help you with your chronic fatigue syndrome. Because negative thoughts and worry, they're certainly not going to help you, and they can make things worse. So if you find it difficult, do look elsewhere for help and support. Okay, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye for now.